Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, coming to you with episode 4 of Ho-Oh's HoeDown. Today, we're facing off against Gardevoir. This is one of Ho-Oh's nemesis. It's the hardest deck, I think, that we can face, because they one-hit KO us as soon as we get our energies on there. But there are things you can do. You can try to outspeed them, or you can play Salazzle. Here we mostly are going to focus on trying to outspeed them. And also, we're playing against a Zoroark Gardevoir build, which helps us, and that we can one-hit KO the Zoroarks a lot easier than the Gardevoirs. Before we get into that, I do want to note, I'd love it if you could like, comment, and or subscribe. So please do that. It helps me out a lot. And I also want to mention that I'm having some trouble with the audio when I do the camera recordings. So I'm just doing that for the intros for right now. Everything else will just be voice narration with no view of my pretty face. Without further ado, let's dig into the matches. So our opponent is calling coin flip and we won it. Good deal. We definitely like going first here. It helps us to set up faster and try to outspeed Gardy. Take some quick KOs early on. We have no choice but to start Ho-Oh, and that's fine by us. We do have the Ultra Ball in hand to get turn 1 Kiawe, so let's do it. Alright, I think that our play is going to be to discard the Ultra Ball and the N. You can make a case for discarding Float Stone and or Choice Band, but I see lots of ways that those cards can be useful pretty quickly. So if we discard those two, we can get our Lele, and we'll manually attach 2 Lele here. And of course get Kiawe. Obviously, order of operations isn't huge as long as we get that manual attachment in. It wouldn't be a horrible thing to miss the manual attachment, but there is a chance that Lele could become useful here, so I think it's worth it to go ahead. Okay. And I think it occurred to me at this point that I should check prizes, maybe. We have 11, 12 energies. That means 2 energies are prized. All of our Pokemon seem to be there. 1 elixir is prized. 2 Sycamore are prized. And 1 more card. Not sure what the remaining. Oh, was Turtonator in there? It might have been Turtonator. Or it might have been something that I just overlooked. I'm not sure how many Super Rod were in there either, so it could have been Super Rod. On to our opponent's turn. We got a pretty good turn 1 setup, and also, you know, we have the capability of, if we just get 1 more energy, if he puts an energy on Ralts. Oh, we get an in. Well, okay then. I was looking at trying to use Lele to take a KO, but things worked out. Okay, well that's different. Oh, not even an attachment for our opponent. Okay, that's a little painful for them, but their pain is our pleasure, I guess, in this instance. We'll try to hit that Max Elixir. There's no cards we can use to increase our chances, but we do go ahead and hit it, so that's good. Well, a little surprising given that 2 of our energy are prized, and if you add up what's on the screen, we already had 8 energies out of the deck, but it worked out. I chose to go ahead and take a KO on the Eevee here. I think that's okay, but you could also argue for taking a KO on a Ralts. That's more meaningful. I think either option is pretty okay. Opponent is going to in again, and this is nice for us given that our entire hand is energy now. so we can maybe get some more playable cards. We do get another Guzma. We also have Nest Ball and Energy in Hand. So there's a few different things we could do here. We could Nest Ball. There's the Volc-EX. So we could play the Volc-EX, steam up, and take a KO on Zoroark. I think getting a Salandit is good. We want to attach an energy to that Salandit, I think for sure. And I'm really torn. Like, taking out the Ralts seems decent. We'll use the switch to not discard energy, and we'll just use Lele again. So here we go. Okay, we'll go ahead and instruct for 2, just to have more cards going into next turn. Ooh, that's a good card. That could work out well for us. Okay, we'll Energy Drive and take a second prize. Sycamore. Okay. Next turn is looking pretty good. We can attach Choice to Ho-Oh. We can attach another energy to Salandit. And then we can, like Sycamore, and retreat Lele. Maybe even get a Float Stone in there to not lose those energies. But it might actually be better to even retreat off the energy. But we're putting the cart before the horse. So let's go ahead. See what they do. They do have 2 Zoroarks. They're playing a Gladion, so we don't have to worry about being end. So we definitely are going to be able to take 2 prizes next turn. That's huge. Okay. We can get their double trade off. Boom to boom. Okay, so they're going to get a Gardevoir out. But they've already, that's not actually even bad for us. They already used a supporter, so they can't Guzma. We still have a Guzma left. They're going to attach an energy. I don't know. They're not able to attack this turn. I don't know if I like their attachment there. Just because, like, they can get enough in a single turn. But what we can do is, prep things, and then we can get a steam up. We have the Guzma left in deck, so we can use Lele to get our other Guzma out. And we can Guzma up that Gardevoir and hit it for 240, taking a KO. And then we have a Ho-Oh set up. We have a Salandit that has energy on it, ready to hit for 200. Have a Super Rod that we can get back and energy. We could even manually retreat the Ho-Oh next turn if we wanted to, and get the energies, all 3 of them back. We're in a good spot. Okay, so before I ramble too much longer, we'll go ahead and take the KO. There's another energy, so we'd really only be down 1 energy if we have to manually retreat Ho-Oh. Yeah, I think that's probably our play. Let's see what our opponent does. I honestly don't see how they could come back from this, though. They have no energy out. Their 2 Pokemon that are out can currently, if they get a DCE, attack for all of 40 damage. And we can one-hit KO them. So yeah, our opponent's just going to concede. I think that's appropriate. There really was no possible way that they could come back from this. So we'll go ahead. I think part of me questions some of the KO decisions we made there with the EV and the Ralts overtaking 2 prizes, but then again, clearly it worked out, and really setting them back is always a good thing. So I'm kind of okay with it. So we'll go ahead and get into the next game. Alrighty, here we go. Our opponent gets to go first either way, no matter who wins the coin flip, because this is the best of 3 format. But they won it, so there's that. We do get to start Ho-Oh again, which isn't bad. It's less good, I guess, because we're not we're sticking out a Pokemon that has a bunch of energies on it that our opponent could potentially get a Gardevoir and KO on turn 2. But I don't think that's enough of a deterrent to make us not do it. We are going to get some mulligan cards, so if our opponent does not in us, we'll have a big hand to start with. That's always nice. What do we see? 2 more mulligans, please. Okay. Start with the Zorua. That's fine. They get the turn 1 Bridget, which means they're not inning, so we get to keep these cards. That's certainly helpful to us. And they attach 1 energy to Zorua. Okay, so we can Ultra Ball away a Sycamore and an energy. And then we can get Salandit for Salazzle. I think that's good for this game. We should have checked our prizes right there, though. So we'll go ahead. We'll manually attach an energy to Salandit. Part of me really thinks we should play the switch here, just so that if our opponent gets Guardy, it's not Ho-Oh's not a sitting duck. Yeah, part of me thinks playing the switch is optimal. Especially because our opponent attached an energy last turn to the Zorua, so they have the free retreat. They're gonna Sycamore. Still hoping for that Gardevoir, I guess. So right now we have 4 energies on us. That's 120 damage. They need 70 more, so that's 3 energies or 2 in a Choice Band that they have to hit to get a KO on Ho-Oh this turn. Certainly possible. They haven't attached any energy. Of course, Gardevoir has their Secret Spring ability. But they need all 3 of those cards to be helpful. Oh, okay. They need 3 of those 4 cards to be helpful. And they can't even retreat this go around anymore. So they'd have to get a Float Stone and 2 energies in a Choice Band. I think we're probably okay at this point. We're gonna survive the turn. Wait, have they not used a supporter yet? I thought they used a supporter. Why are they playing Lele now? I really think they used a supporter. I'm kind of confused. Are they gonna be okay? So the Sycamore's for next turn. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't like it. Okay, so we can steam up here and then Sycamore, or we could steam up and play like Guzma Switch to put 210 damage on the Gardevoir. I think it's better to just take the KO and play Sycamore to continue to develop our board state. Yeah. Leaving them with that card draw and a Guardy in the active just seems bad. It's really tempting to get Gardevoir, 20 damage away from KO. but getting 2 prizes and developing our board state seems better. Especially, a lot of Gardevoir lists are going to play a max potion, so we don't even know that this damage is going to stick. Whereas if we had taken the KO, like, I know last game we were tearing things up, taking out routes early on and hindering their setup, but I think actually the way to hinder their setup is to destroy their draw power, and that means taking out the Zoroark GX. I think that Guzma play was actually a big mistake. Let's see what happens. So we get Sycamore. We knew they had Sycamore. That's another factor, is that we basically know they're going to be able to KO Ho-Oh this turn. Like, something's seriously wrong if they can't. And while we can get the return knockout pretty easily, it's not easily enough in my book. So we see Secret Spring for 1 energy. And what else? Gotta get a DCE or another energy and a Choice Band. There's the Choice Band. There's another energy. I guess he was doing the math there to see exactly what he needed. Because he definitely doesn't want to overcommit to this Gardevoir since it's going down. And luckily for us, he did not manage to get a... Oh, that's nice. Okay. He did not manage to get Max Potion there, but I still think that the fact that Guardy plays Max Potion frequently is enough to say that it was the wrong play. Okay, so here, Max Elixir's good. We probably should have played the Nest Ball first to increase our odds of hitting it, but that's only a minor error. And, okay, so we're going to Nest Ball. What do I want to get with the Nest Ball? I think Turtonator's actually pretty good here. If we can power him up, he can do some serious damage, and he discards his own energy. So that's good. I think we want to hold the Choice Band, because we don't know who we want to attach it to yet. Unfortunately, we have to put some energy on the Volcanion-EX there. Almost. Like, if we could choose not to, that would be great. But, you know, we can't. So. Okay, what's next? In fact, it might have been better to put the extra energy onto Salandit, just to keep Volcanion from being a target. But anyway, we see our opponent come up with the Guardy. Okay, Salandit's the target anyway. That's fine. That is fine. Secret Spring. He will KO the Salandit, which keeps us from getting Salazzle. We'd like to have Salazzle here, but it's not that big a deal. The one thing we really want to have happen is we want to be able to attack with Turtonator next turn. Take the KO and remove our... take the KO and discard the energy. We're still in a bad spot after that, but not horrible. So he's gonna have to attach another energy to get a KO on the baby Volk. I'm looking at Steam up here, but I think it's the wrong play because we already know that he's gonna have 180 left, and we need the attachment to be able to attack next turn with the Turtonator. Turtonator can hit 160 even if he field blowers away the Choice Band, and then if we find an energy for Steam Up, Turtonator can hit 190 even without the Choice Band, and that's a KO. So I think that's better than putting the damage on now and missing the ability to attack next turn. But let's see what happens. You see the Secret Spring. And this goes on to active. Okay, and a Choice Band onto the bench, and then an N. The N's fine for us. Like, yeah, we have Sycamore in hand. That's decent, but this is definitely better. Okay, so what now? Okay, if I put some energy, and he's gonna Secret Spring another energy. So right now that one can hit for 120 with Guzma. That would be enough to KO Turtonator right now, but he needs some more energy to KO Turtonator later. So we can take the knockout. Wait. Oh goodness. Okay. Here's what I'm looking at. We could have Secret Spring to Salandit. I don't know. We'd probably miss, but yeah, we miss. But what we should have done was promoted Volk and attached manually to Volk-EX. Because right now, he already has KO on the Volk-EX if he gets Guzma next turn. But if we had discarded the energy off, he has to get Guzma and at least 2 more energies. If he gets the 2 energies, he doesn't need the Guzma. But with the number of energies he's gone through, we might have been able to survive it. But right now he just needs Guzma. I think we would have been better off discarding the energy off of Volcanion to give ourselves another turn. It promotes the Zoroark. Does that mean he has Guzma already? Try number 1. Trait number 2. Lele. Okay, so there's Guzma, and that's game. Okay, so we'll get to go first in game 3. That's the good news. The bad news is that we lose. And we made 2 big mistakes. One was leaving the energy on Volk-EX here to enable that. But it wouldn't have mattered because he had another DCE. So he would have got it either way there with the Guzma. The other, I think, bigger mistake is leaving the Zoroark in play and doing that 2-hit KO onto Gardevoir. Yes, big plays to take out Gardevoir or Gardevoir Lions are great, but you have to actually get the KO for it to be worthwhile. And we didn't, and we knew we weren't going to, so taking out the Zoroark would have been better. Anyway, with that said, we'll go ahead and get into game 3. Okay, here we are. Since we lost game 2, we get to choose again for game 3. Of course, we will go first. We'll try to outspeed them again. And this is something that some of my testing partners have been talking about lately, how the power of going first. It's always been really strong in Pokemon to go first, but it's almost overpowered with the way that decks run these days. Like, the fact that we're going to have everything potentially set up and course, we see Ultra Ball, so that means we will definitely have our setup established before our opponent can even evolve their basics. Is rough. The fact that if they were going first and we were playing even the same deck as they're playing, like that ability to just like go crazy with your setup and make it so your opponent doesn't get the same chance is just awful. Anyway, that was 4 mulligans? Good lord. That's a lot of mulligans. Okay, so we still didn't get Lele or Kiawe into hand. That's fine. We'll bench these 2 guys. We will manually attach to the benched Ho-Oh since we don't have any way to get a better alternate attacker. Go ahead, get rid of the 2 energies with Ultra Ball. We can Super Rod them back in, and we'll grab Lele for Kiawe. Checking out prizes, looks like 1 Salazzle is prized, 1 Switch is prized. None of our energy is prized. Is that right? 2, 10, 12. Turtonator is prized. A Max Elixir is prized. And I didn't, maybe in game I determined, but here I didn't determine what the 6th card was. Oh, Kiawe. Okay. So we're going to draw into a Kiawe late game. That's not ideal. That's okay. I think it's worth it to go ahead and play the Super Rod, because then 14 energies, we'll have 6 of them now. We'll have 8 still in the deck. And we'll have 38 cards left. That actually leaves us a pretty decent chance of still being able to hit some elixirs. So that's good. We'll get the manual attachment in next turn. Play Sycamore. Maybe we can hit an elixir if we get one. Our opponent does get their optimal turn 1 play with that Bridget. And they get another Zorua and 2 Ralts. Okay, another Super Rod. That's kind of not what we want to see. We'd rather have that stay in the deck, but you could argue for an end there to preserve the other Sycamore and the Super Rod. I think it's still probably better to do it this way. Go ahead, get the energy there. And here we have 2 options. We can Sacred Fire, or we can Phoenix Burn for KO. And I think Sacred Fire actually might make more sense, putting the damage on the benched Ralts. And here's the reasons for that. So we didn't do it. Taking prizes isn't bad, but I think if we were going to take the KO, it might have been better to get rid of to play an Ultra Ball just to get rid of stuff, bench the Volcanion-EX and try to Power Heat or Sacred Fire for KO. But if we had just put 50 damage on the Ralts on the bench, it had energy on it, so that's nice. We have a Gardevoir that is just a normal, unchoice banded, unsteamed up attack away from KO. This is the one they've started to energize, so that's a hindrance to them. And we can still take the KO, even if they get Zoroark GX into the active, we can still take the KO next turn with the Choice Band. So So I think that would have been a better play. Obviously, reducing their draw is good, but I think we just had better options. So they are going to get Zoroark up this turn. So far, Gardevoir is looking unlikely. Super Rod. Makes me a little jealous because we don't have our Super Rod, but just a little. Okay. And he retreats off the fairy energy. That could be good for us. Okay, we see Salazzle come into the game. That's cool. So we can attach the energy to Salazzle, or we could play Nest Ball and steam it up and take a KO on the active rolls. Yeah, I kind of think Salazzle's the better option. We can attach Choice. I don't know. I guess attaching it to Salazzle's fine. I guess we're looking to Oranguru here. Since we aren't getting rid of the energy, I don't know that getting Volcanion-EX matters a lot here. We have 6 energies left. So, I mean, we could get Volcanion-EX, but we could also... So we could fully power up another HoeDown. That seems both really strong and also kind of silly, but maybe it's worth it. I guess there's no real harm in it. We'll go ahead and play this Max Elixir. We hit it. Because this is a ridiculous setup. We now have... is it worth it? Is it worth it? Like, we can Kiawe onto the new Ho-Oh we just got, but it kind of feels like overkill, and it makes it really hard for us to power up the Salazzle-GX. I think it's better to actually just take a KO. We can play the switch. We can KO the active rolls. I think that's better. What am I doing? So if I put anything but Ho up there, it's just basically as a stall. Wasn't a switched prized as well? So we have to hit Float Stone basically to get it out because we only have 1 energy left. I think I'm overlooking how low we are on energy if we play the Kiawe, because it seems like that's what I'm wanting to do, and I think really the play here is just to get a Ho-Oh out, take another prize, and go from there. We're in a good spot. It's not what we did. We get Ho-Oh set up. I really don't like that though, because by the time they've KO'd 2 more Ho-Ohs, we're in good shape with Salazzle, and he only needed 1 more energy. But now with 22 cards left in deck, and only 1 of them being energy, it's gonna be unlikely that we actually get it. He does. Okay, so he gets Lele out to go and attack a Ho-Oh. Lele's not going to get a KO here, though. So we'll get a KO. That's nice. We can put the Choice Band somewhere else, and then we can Oranguru for 3. And I think we hold those tools. Why would he attach? He's probably going to get a KO on it. Attaching there. Just hold it. Just hold the Float Stone. Okay. Well, our opponent's basically saying they conceded anyway. We're going to play that. Okay. Well, it didn't matter. Our opponent conceded. But I sort of hate the last two turns there. We're presenting a very dominant board state. But in actuality, our board state's better if we hadn't done that. If we had just left the energies in deck so that we could get one onto Salazzle-GX, we would have gotten the KO on with Ho-Oh onto Lele, and we would have been better established for taking more KOs later. We would have had an extra prize gone, so Salazzle would have been hitting for 200 damage without any choice band every turn with no slowdown. So I think we made some mistakes. Obviously, they weren't big enough to cost us the game, but they could have been if our opponent had drawn just a little bit better. Anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Sort of presented both sides of how things can go well if your opponent draws just a little bad, and how things can go poorly if they don't, and we make mistakes without hindering them along the way. I will say that the one thing about this series, I didn't use Salazzle very much, and I think using Salazzle can be a much stronger Pokemon to use than Ho-Oh against Gardevoir, because you have fewer energies in play. They can't in one turn get enough energy to KO Salazzle, and you can 2-hit KO their Gardevoir. So try to do that if you're playing this matchup, and also try to focus on not making some of those mistakes I was making. Definitely try to hinder their setup as quickly as you can, since you're faster than them. But with that, this is Jeffrey signing off. We'll be back next time for another episode of Tord.Gardy. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe as appropriate. Still trying to get more subscribers. And yeah, comment with suggestions too. We're going to be starting some new series come March. And we'll wrap up these two series unless something unexpected happens. We'll do probably another episode of each one, and then start the next series. But with that, I'm actually gone now. Goodbye.